Episode 3. The Town Turned on Me. The Millbrook Gazette's front page might as well have been a death warrant. The headline screamed, "Hartwell Family Fights Widow for Ancestral Fortune," with a subheading that made Sarah's blood run cold. Local woman as marriage to dying millionaire raises questions. Sarah stared at her own wedding photo, which had somehow found its way into the article. She and James looked so happy, so genuine, but the article painted their union as a calculated business transaction. The reporter had interviewed several townspeople, including Mayor Phillips, who diplomatically suggested that the community hopes all parties can find a peaceful resolution that honors the Hartwell family's legacy. Even worse was the quote from Margaret Hartwell. "We're not trying to hurt Sarah. We simply believe James would have wanted his family's heritage to remain with his blood relatives. Sarah is young and capable. She can build her own life. Our family farm has been in the Hartwell name for over a century." The subtle implication was clear. Sarah didn't belong. By noon, the effects were devastating. 3 of Sarah's piano students had canceled their lessons, their parents offering flimsy excuses about schedule changes. The coffee shop where she'd worked part-time before James's illness called to tell her they would not need her services anymore. Even her hairdresser, Linda, seemed nervous and distant during Sarah's appointment. "People are talking," Linda admitted quietly while trimming Sarah's hair. "I don't believe what they're saying, but, well, business is business, you know?" Sarah nodded, understanding the unspoken message. Supporting her had become a liability in Millbrook's tight-knit community. The isolation was suffocating. Walking down Main Street felt like running a gauntlet of judgment. Former friends crossed the street to avoid her. Shop owners who used to chat warmly now offered only curt nods. Children who had once raced up to show her their drawings now whispered behind their parents' legs. The breaking point came at the post office. Sarah was mailing documents to her lawyer when she overheard a conversation between 2 women she'd considered friends. "Feel sorry for her, but you have to wonder," Janet Morrison was saying. "She appeared out of nowhere, married a wealthy older man, and now look what happened. Those poor Hartwell children, losing their inheritance to a stranger." "My husband says she probably has other men lined up already," replied Sue Davidson. "Women like that always do. They know how to work the system." Sarah's hands shook as she addressed the envelope. These were women who had attended her wedding, who had brought casseroles after James's diagnosis, who had hugged her at the funeral and promised to check on her. She turned around slowly, meeting their shocked expressions. "Hello, Janet. Sue." Both women flushed red, caught in their gossip. Janet stammered an uncomfortable greeting while Sue suddenly found her phone extremely interesting. "For what it's worth," Sarah said quietly, "James and I never discussed his will until after his diagnosis. I begged him not to change it. I told him his family should inherit everything, but he was terrified that I wouldn't be able to survive without him. The inheritance wasn't about money. It was about love. His love for me, and his fear of leaving me unprotected in a world that would judge me exactly the way you're judging me now." She sealed her envelope and walked toward the door, then paused. "He was right to be afraid," she added, not turning around. "But he was wrong about one thing. Love can't protect you from people who've already decided who you are." That evening, sitting alone in the house that had once felt like home, Sarah realized she was fighting a war on 2 fronts. In court, she would battle for her legal rights. But in Millbrook, she was fighting for something more fundamental, her right to exist in the space where she and James had built their life together. The town had turned on her, but she wouldn't run. James had believed she was strong enough to weather this storm. She would prove him right, even if it meant standing alone against an entire community that had decided she didn't deserve their compassion. Stay tuned for the episode 4. Please do like, share, and subscribe my channels.